you know, uh, be excited about the integrations and marketplace products and share your feedback so that we can keep improving the product. So with that, we'll get started. So let's look at the latest releases over the past 1 month. Uh, the first one, which is a big one in terms of the marketplace success and adoption, is the app free trial. Developers can now offer anything between a day to 90 days of free trial. And this will work exactly as you would expect. You don't get charged at the type of installation. You will have to choose your plan though, and that plan will kick in post the trial. So in the default, you typically be 14 days. So after 14 days is when your plan would kick in, right? So this would be critical in terms of the adoption of apps, as well as, avoid instances where, to install the app, you're not happy, and then you seek refunds, etc. All that hassles will go away going forward. Moving on, the next one is private integrations. What exactly is private integrations? Essentially, it's very similar to API keys that you have today, but it's a lot more powerful and a lot more secure. How is this secure? First of all, when you are creating the private integration, you get to define the scopes or the permissions that a developer can access using the access token, right? With API keys, they had an entire access, unlimited access to your account, which was, severe security problem. With this, you get to define saying, hey, you are creating an app for me, which, let's say automates my contact forwarding to another, let's say, site. You get to access only my contacts. Just read my contacts, nothing else, right? So there is full control over how developers can access your account. That's one thing. Uh, the second one is with access tokens, it's important that you kind of rotate and manage them well, right? If you keep using the same access token, the risk of them getting compromised and someone getting unauthorized access to your account is higher. So we recommend that you keep rotating your access tokens once in 90 days. And we have built feature to help you do that, right? So on the at the right bottom, you will see two buttons here. Rotate and expire this token now, and rotate this expired token later. Usually, at the end of your 90 days cycle, you would click on this. What this would do is generate a new token for you while keeping the old one active. And for a period of 7 days, both will coexist and both will continue to be active. This is a period where you can give your token to your developer and they can update it. And meanwhile, your existing automations continue to work as well. In the scenario that you learn your token has been expired, that's when the first option comes in. You say rotate and expire this token now, which means the existing token is killed immediately. So whoever has unauthorized access will no longer be able to access your account, and you can share the new token with the developer. Now, private integrations is useful if you are building, let's say, make automations, etc. Right? However, the actual model for building integrations would still be the app marketplace, where going forward, we'll have more and more apps coming on board onto the marketplace. If you're able to find it there, that's where you should be going to get your integrations going, right? And that's the easiest way. You don't need to even generate private integrations, nothing. So that entire API-driven world is going to exist and grow. This is if you want, very specific solutions and integrations for your account only. That's where private integrations would help. Let me just pause. Do you have any questions on this?
Doesn't
Cool.
look like it.
Awesome. The third one is small one, but pretty effective. We have added two new filters. One is pricing. Are the apps paid or free, right? So you get to narrow down the entire app catalog based on this. And the second one, which is available only to the agency, is distribution type. Because the app marketplace or the agency has both agency-only apps as well as agency and sub-account apps, it was a bit confusing. So now you get to filter and see apps based on the distribution type only. So these are the two new filters. In addition to this, there are a couple of usability enhancements we have done. Before, let's say you navigated to the third page, right, in the app catalog, you went to a specific app and then you click back. It would bring you all the way back to the first page, right? And any search, your filters, etc., would be lost. You have to apply them all over again. What we have done is the app now remembers your previous filters, search, and which page you are on. So that when you click back, you come back to the same page and you continue your discovery journey. Second, app tagline is now mandatory for developers. App tagline is the one you see here in text underneath the logo. And this is a critical piece of information for you to discover what the app does, which used to be an optional field. We have now made it mandatory so that your discovery journey is a lot more simpler. So these are some new filters and multiple UI enhancements we made in the last month. Now, let's look at all the upcoming releases in the upcoming quarter, right? The one which will be releasing next week is something called dual profiles. The problem we're solving here is for an app to be white label friendly, the entire app details page should not have any mention of go high level, etc., because this page is now visible to your sub accounts as well, right? However, for a developer, there are some things, for example, let's say if it's an integration, they do want to communicate how it works with Go High Level. So they might mention Go High Level in the app details page. And that used to cause confusion and white label, breach, right? So what we have done is for agency and sub-account type apps, we have separated the app details page. The developer now gets to define what the agency sees versus what the sub-account sees. The developer can use the agency app profile to sell what the app does, etc., to the agency, while keep the sub-account app profile just to educate the sub-account once you have already installed the app onto the sub-accounts, right? There is no, white label breach that can happen within the agency profile. They can mention all they want because only you can say this. While in sub-account, we'll make sure we review it thoroughly and there's no mention of go high level in the sub-account app profile. This essentially enables them to communicate the value to you, the customer, while maintaining white label friendliness to the sub-accounts. We went a level ahead, right? It's important for you to trust this as well. And that's where we added preview as in the agency app marketplace view. So by default, it's what the developer wants you to see to the agency, but you can click on sub account and view exactly what the sub account would see in their app marketplace. So you can make sure that the app is white label compliant and everything, right? It's exactly what you would want your sub account to see so that you install the app going forward, right? So the objective here was to make sure that as agency owners, especially white label agency owners, you have clarity and trust in the entire apps that you're going to install going forward. Any questions or feedback so far? Awesome. Let's go ahead. Cool. The next one is Snapshot Marketplace. And we have spoken about this in the previous town hall as well. So going forward, we're targeting this for September 2024, where you will be able to discover apps with snapshots in the app marketplace. We'll add filters on what all modules the app contains, right? So you will be able to easily discover all the apps which have snapshots. Once you go in, and this is the feedback we got from the previous call, which we have now implemented. I think, Charles, you were the one who gave this feedback, which is a great one, right? What you see in the center is your feedback incorporated. So you'll see that this app has a snapshot, but we'll also tell what assets the snapshot contains. For example, this contains, let's say, 2 workflows, 2 funnel widgets, etc. Right? So this is our first step towards making sure that you know what you're buying before you make the payment, right? Because snapshot is one kind of asset which cannot be offered as free trial because these are irreversible, right? Once you have pushed a snapshot, all your assets stay. So most developers would not be offering free trial for snapshot apps. And that's why we have made this intervention and given clarity in terms of what the app contains. You don't need to trust the app details because a developer can put whatever they want there, right? So Go High Level will provide this information on what this app snapshot contains. The step one is we just maintain the assets and the count, but going forward, we'll enhance this further. We'll also allow you to preview what those assets look like before you install the app. So these are some steps we are taking to ensure you have full trust in the app before you actually make the payment. And then finally, you'll be able to push the snapshot, load the snapshot onto the locations from Go High Level itself. In addition to this, you can also do it within the sub account page. And also, you can use these snapshots as part of your SaaS configurator. So within your SaaS configurator, when you configure a SaaS plan, you'll also be able to choose the marketplace snapshots that you have downloaded and installed. Hey, Dia, please go ahead.
Question, are we able to see when is the last updated version of the snapshot?
Right. So with this version, Dia, we don't have the ability to update snapshot, but that is another feature we're working on in the current quarter itself. So we are building the entire app update as a feature, right? Not just for snapshot. So the way we are thinking of it is the versioning and everything will be maintained at the app level, right? Not at the module level, right? So every time the developer pushes a new, let's say, update to the snapshot, what that would do is push a new app update itself to your account, and then there'll be change logs to see what all changed between the the old version and the new.
But
Does that make
it's
sense? Yeah.
but it's coming, right? So we know
It's
that.
coming.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yep. It's coming this quarter. Awesome. So this was on the installation flow, right? The next screen talks about the how you can sell snapshots, because as agency owners, you can now sell snapshots as well on the app marketplace. What does that journey, what does that journey look like? In the snapshot page, where you have share snapshot, there are, sorry? Yeah, so you'll have, within share snapshot, you'll have multiple share types, right? Until now, you had sell it to a specific agency, specific location, etc. You'll now have another option called get marketplace share link. And any marketplace share link snapshot will be automatically IP protection enabled, which means all the assets that are part of this particular snapshot are tied down to your account. Anybody who's installing the snapshot will get the assets, but they cannot repackage it into a new snapshot and resell it. All those assets are now protected. They can only use it. It can never make its way back to the app marketplace. Now we have received these questions over and over again. Hey, yes, but people can kind of open the app in two screens and just copy the workflow, etc. Right? Absolutely agree. That is a problem, and that's one of the hardest problems to solve, right? So as of now, the workaround or the solution to that is if you come across any app which is misusing or reselling your IP protected snapshot, then you can raise a complaint. Just report it to marketplace.gohighlevel.com. We'll investigate and take that imposter app down as soon as possible. Hey, Charles.
I do have one quick question about the snapshot on the IP protection. So currently how it's set, if I enable IP protection, they can import it into their agency and then they can put it into a sub account, but they can't snapshot it. Is that correct?
Correct.
So here's the inherent problem with that. I hope that there's going to be a further variation of this, where we can allow them to snapshot it and use it within their account, but there's some kind of identifier that sticks with it that won't let it go outside of their agency. Let's take Extendly, for instance. They sell the ultimate small business snapshot. I want to customize it to my particular niche. Now, if they IP protect it, I can't do that.
Hmm.
See the problem?
Yeah, got it. You want to like create small variations of it and use it across
Yeah,
different.
well, and I may just need to go in and update verbiage. I may leave
Mhm,
pretty much everything the same. I just
mhm,
may need to
mhm,
update verbiage and then recreate the snapshot within my agency. But if it's totally locked down, there's no way to do that. I just think there needs to be a sub level in there to where it's like, yes, we want to IP protect it. We want to make it to where there can never be a snapshot of any kind, or that snapshot is locked to that agency. It can't go outside of that agency. They can snapshot it, rearrange it, reformat it however they want within their agency, but it can't go outside of their agency.
got it. That makes sense, Charles. I'll take that feedback to the team.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's a very, very good feedback. Cool. So yeah, so the step one talks about on the left talks about how you can generate the snapshot share link for the marketplace. The next step is you head over to the developer portal, right? Developer marketplace.cohighlevel.com. Now that used to be something which was extremely developer centric, and what we are working on right now is drastically simplify the user experience of creating apps, especially if you want to create snapshot only apps or something as simple as, let's say in the future, custom funnel widget app, right? We are taking away all the unnecessary pages like the OAuth, API, webhooks, and all the complex developer things will no longer even be visible to you. You'll have a clean step-by-step guided process to create an app, and that should help you launch your app with minimum effort. And finally, what does the experience look like in terms of configuring your snapshot? All you need to do is just provide the snapshot name, paste the URL from here, and then just launch it, right? Now, just to this particular module, right, snapshot, is predominantly sold as a one-time pricing model, right? And that's a pricing model that has been missing in the app marketplace. So what we are also working on is the one-time pricing model, which you'll be able to configure in the developer marketplace and attach it to the app so that, you know, your snapshot, the agencies who are buying it, pay a one-time fee and they don't have to, you know, go for a subscription, which they may not be okay with. Any questions so far? Cool. So we spoke about snapshot as a module which can sell. Another module which we're adding is funnel widgets, right? Funnel widgets can be as simple as, let's say, a countdown timer to a specific, let's say, event date, some numbers that you want, let's say, you know, metrics that you want to share regarding your SaaS, etc. Or it can be your Google reviews and any other social media linked assets that you want to share here, right? So you can create your own custom funnel widgets in the app marketplace. All you need to do is put all your web files, package them into a zip file, upload it onto the developer portal. And at the funnel builder end, when users install the app, so two things, right? One, your users, basically any location who is building a funnel will be able to see all the custom funnel widgets that are there in the app marketplace. And they'll be able to just click on a link. User will head over to the app marketplace itself, install the app, and that will now be available for you to just drag and drop into the funnel builder. So we're also bringing the app or the funnel widget discovery into the place where it's actually used, which is the funnel builder itself, right? And that's kind of our first step towards making the apps and its underlying assets or the modules more accessible in the place where it's actually used, right? For example, funnel widgets will be accessible within funnel builder, and let's say in the future, templates will be accessible within the website builder and so on, right? So that's how we are looking at simplifying the entire app installation and the discovery process. Let me just pause. Any questions so far? Cool. So this we're targeting for October 2024. Moving on, we spoke about the one-time pricing model. In addition to that, We also spoke about the free trial, which we already released last month, right? Another predominant model which is used to drive adoption is the freemium, which basically is you offer a free plan and paid plans. You limit the features that a free plan has and offer more, add-on plans or add-on features in the premium plan. And that's something we're adding in the current quarter. Essentially, we are expanding the business model from just free and paid to freemium, which will allow you, which will automatically add a free plan. You can add as many as paid plans as you want, and the experience at the end of the day from the user side will, okay, so two things, right? They'll be able to choose the free plan, but in addition to that, they also need to upgrade the plan, right? And that was a capability missing in the app marketplace. The freemium essentially means that you first install the free plan, try the app out, and then opt for the paid plan, right? So we are coming out with two features together. One is a freemium model, and then the app pricing, upgrade pricing plan as a feature, where you'll be able to move from the free plan to the paid plan seamlessly. And finally, usage-based pricing, which is critical for, let's say, developers who want to monetize on custom workflow action triggers, communication providers, etc. So usage-based pricing will be a model that developers will have to go with all kind of service-based modules that App Marketplace currently has and going to add in the future. Any questions so far? Awesome. Now we're moving on to all the integrations, right? All things we spoke about until now were all the App Marketplace. On the integration side, multiple pages per account is targeted for September 2024. A quick preview of what that means. You'll be able to collect multiple Facebook and Insta pages per account. Flexible lead sync across multiple pages. You'll be able to get all the leads and messages in one single place. And also, there'll be clear attribution for the leads and messages in terms of which page the apps or the leads or the messages came from. Custom menu link customization. So there are three things you can do here. One is you'll be able to reorder your custom menu links. Hey, Charles.
Yeah, real quick before we get to this, has there been, I know you haven't been asked about this at all, but has there been any real communication from Meta in regards to ad form submissions?
Ad form submissions.
Yeah,
Sorry, can you
Facebook
elaborate?
ads, all the craziness that Meta was having.
Yeah.
Has there been
Hmm.
any resolution that's come up from them, or do they
Yes.
have a projection in place?
So it was resolved. I can just tell you the exact date,
Okay.
but we were in touch with our account manager with Facebook, right? And they
Yeah.
confirmed that it has been fixed on their end.
Okay.
And meanwhile, we also came out with the sync leads, a button in the
Yeah, I
integrations
saw that.
page,
Yeah.
right? So that is already there, and it's a good interim solution. We are still seeing some tickets regarding customers saying that they're not getting the leads yet. It's not much. These are still sparse, intermittent cases being reported, and we are investigating what is causing that. But meanwhile, I think the manual sync leads button is proving to be effective, and that is stable. And you can just do that if you observe that there are leads in your ads manager but aren't there in GHL.
Okay, sounds good. Just wanted
Yeah.
a quick update. I know Slack was getting blown up about it, so
Yeah.
when
From an
it
official
happens.
communication, right? But from an official communication, yes, Facebook did mention they have resolved it.
Okay, thanks.
Awesome. Cool. Moving on to custom menu links. So yeah, one, you can reorder the custom menu links in the left nav menu. The second is you can restrict which roles can access the specific menu links. And third, which sub accounts can access the menu links, right? Moving on, a new integration we're targeting for Q3 is Google Lead Ads, right? Very similar to Facebook. You can now sync leads from your Google ad campaigns, form submission, and those leads will flow over to Go High Level and you can, consume it, build your automations from there. Some other features and enhancements, actually many important features targeted for Q3. The most critical one is the install app updates, right? There are so many scenarios. One of the most common one being the developers seeking for new scopes, right? Which require the app users to reinstall the app today, which is a really, really poor experience. So what we are coming out with is a full, encompassing install app, like app install, app updates process, where developers will be able to, for any change they make, it's a new version. As long as it's a very simple, non-breaking change, the apps will get installed seamlessly. There's no work, no effort required from you as an agency owner or location. However, if that's something that requires your action, for example, let's say new scopes, the pricing plan has changed, or let's say the external authentication has changed and you need to re-auth, things like that, which require your attention. Only in such cases, there'll be an explicit update button. And when you click on it, we'll take you step by step in terms of what you need to do. And then you will be moved to the new plan. Right. So this is critical in terms of driving retention of apps and having, apps grow in terms of capabilities. And, overall, like every single developer aspires to keep improving their apps. And this feature will enable them to do that. Next, another module that we are targeting to add in addition to snapshot and funnel widgets is the website templates in the app marketplace in Q3. Further, with the external auth, right? Today, if let's say for a custom workflow action, especially for the integration ones, simple ones, let's say Asana, right? If you've installed the Asana app on the on your Go High Level app, you will need to provide your API key, right? And this API key is now accessible to the developer, right? Who may not be Asana, but just connecting a person who is helping you connect with Asana. So what we want to do is bring in the single sign-on or the OAuth into this, where you'll be able to sign in with Asana. Your credentials go directly to the Asana login page, and all the developer gets is a token using which they can access your Asana account. Meanwhile, your credentials are safe and nobody gets access to it, right? So this is going to be critical, not just for workflow action triggers, which are used for integrations, but we'll also bring it and make it accessible across all modules, such as, let's say, payment provider, conversation provider, etc. So sign in with third-party apps, especially for integration purposes, is going to be available in the app marketplace. The fourth one is support ticket management. The problem we're trying to solve here is, yes, support agency users do have access to the support contact details and even documentation in the app details page. However, in many cases, the developers don't respond, which creates a poor experience. So what we want to do is get involved, right? So we want to create a solution where the customers, the developer, and Go High Level are all in one place. There is direct interaction between customer and the developer, but in case there's no response, etc., Go High Level support team will get involved and help you with the resolution. And also those kind of signals will go into the developer rating and affect their app ranking overall in the marketplace, right? So this is to overall build a healthy developer ecosystem within Go High Level. And in addition to that, of course, give you a good support experience. And finally, the fifth one is ability to include apps in SaaS plans and auto install them on sign up, right? Especially if there are apps which are, integrations and, quite critical and important for, let's say, if you have a SaaS plan for real estate and there are, apps which integrate with real estate apps, and you want them to come as part of the install process itself, you can now package them in your SaaS plan. You can choose the particular app pricing plan that you want to go with. And as and when new sub accounts come and sign up that SaaS plan and their account is created, It also comes with automatically all the apps installed. So these are all the app marketplace features, which we're targeting for Q3. In addition to this, now moving on to the integrations and user management, right? For user management, there are two things we're working on. Create custom roles with custom set of permissions, right? With the permissions V2 that we launched in labs recently, you get to define granular permissions at a user and admin level. And you get to kind of replicate that particular, so there's something called copy contact, where you can apply a person X permissions to person Y, which is great. What we wanted to do, like allow you to do, is create a template, like saying, Tony, I'll take a question in a minute. Person X gets, you can give it a name saying, hey, this is sales role, right? And now, as and when, let's say Y comes in and who's part of the sales team, you can just apply the sales role to the person Y. Going to your question, Tony, teams, we are evaluating how to approach that problem. We did get that request from some other customers as well. And as of now, we are, it's still too early for me to comment, but yeah, I think it might be a separate feature in itself. But as of now, roles and teams are not the same thing. Roles is just a permission set that you can apply to a user. Any questions on that, Tony?
So my biggest problem right now is the assigned data for
Yep.
groups. So I mean, I don't necessarily need teams, but being able to have data shared amongst several people as opposed to all people and no people. So would that only be addressed by being able to create teams?
Yep, correct.
Okay. I will be patient.
Yeah, I think we understand, and that's kind of coming up quite frequently. Have you put this idea on the idea board, Tony?
Yes.
Okay, awesome, cool, perfect. So yeah, we'll definitely prioritize that for Q4.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Further, more granular permissions at the agency level. Things like your financial dashboard, Stripe details, and things like that, which are mostly quite agency owner specific, which agency owner does not want to share with the other agency admins or even agency users. Those are the things we're going to add as more permissions to the the granular permissions that you can restrict other users from having access to it. Finally, user notifications. White label agencies, which is 297 and 497 plan, can customize system emails such as the welcome email, password reset, etc. And that is also something we're targeting for Q3. Hey, Charles. Yeah.
Can we please include in the granular permissions at the agency level an opt-out for high-level marketing emails? Because right now, every new agency level user gets enrolled in every nonsense email that comes out.
Yeah, I think you had brought this up a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure if this is the team that's running it down, but I know it's been brought up.
Yeah. It'd be super nice.
Yep.
Got it. Cool.
The biggest problem for us is like our Basecamp, our Google Chat, where we have group emails set up for VA projects, is getting bombarded with high-level promotional emails that have absolutely nothing to do with anything that they do. That's the biggest issue with it.
Got it.
Got it.
Cool. So that was the end of the presentation. Let's go over the questions in the chat. So Dia, is it possible to enable the app marketplace on selected locations? If not, can we have a toggle like what we have for AI? Got it. So you're saying app marketplace as a permission at a user level so that you can disable it for specific or for specific location level, you're saying, right?
Yeah, per location
Got it.
level. So it's kind of like I wanted it to be shown on this location only, but not on the other location, something like that.
Got it. May I ask why you don't want some locations to access the marketplace data?
Well, we don't really have it turned on, but then there are some locations that needs to have access to that because we install Webinar Kit. So those only are for selected VIP sub accounts. So we don't want the app marketplace to be enabled for everybody else.
Got it. And just so I understand here, which plan are you on?
497
Is it a SaaS mode or just the regular
SaaS mode.
agency? SaaS mode. Got it. Got it. Any concerns you have with your locations having access to the app marketplace?
Well, we don't want them get distracted. Most of them, some of our SaaS clients are already kind of like saying that they're already overwhelmed with what we have to offer. We don't have a specific niche, so we welcome all businesses of every niches. So there's no specific menus on the left-hand side that we are retaining. So currently we're using CSS to hide some of them, but if there's a toggle specific, like for this app marketplace, then we can only have them enabled for our VIP clients and not for the SaaS clients.
Got it. So let's say, so the problem statement here mentioning here is they're overwhelmed with a lot of information, right? Let's say we were to able to solve this problem and kind of recommend the right apps which are relevant to them and break the clutter. Would that be something which would, kind of make you adopt the marketplace? Like just help us, how can we take marketplace so that it's, something which you would be open to share with all your locations?
Well, I think that our dev team is developing something that they might be importing in the app marketplace.
Mhm.
And maybe at that time we'll be able to enable it for across all sub accounts. But currently the usage that I have is we are integrating with Webinar Kit, and then we only offer it to our VIP clients. So we don't want additional questions to our SaaS clients if they see the app marketplace and then asking why they cannot market integration that's available in the app marketplace or something. So at least because we are telling it to our VIPs, but not on our SaaS clients. Hence the ability, hopefully, to have app marketplace enabled to certain locations only.
Got it.
Charles.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of that point, I mean, I ended up going with Rupert's solution because I just couldn't. There's still a lot of instability within the marketplace as far as apps working correctly, installing correctly, uninstalling correctly. I mean, I've got apps that have been uninstalled, but yet the premium actions are still showing. Can't get rid of them in the workflow builder. And the fact that anytime you install an app in the marketplace, it creates yet another custom menu link, to manage that app. It's not nested underneath or, it's poor organization. I mean, there's a lot of little things just from a UI UX standpoint, and the end user usability and, reducing that overwhelm. It was nice that we could, it was an opt-in versus an opt-out. I was super happy to see that update, but even still, I mean, even using Rupert's solution, which is about as dumbed down as it gets for an end user, because everything is just already installed, they just have to use it. There's still a lot of complications for the end user. API v2 hasn't been every developer's best friend, that's for sure.
Can you just elaborate on that, Charles? Like what exactly do
It
you mean by
just,
that?
well, I mean, it's the whole OAuth. I mean, it's just everybody I know that I talk to has had issues with keeping their app connected. You know, and having to, you know, set up crazy schedules to go back and check and see if it is connected. Maybe it hasn't been active, you know, a request hasn't gone through in X period of time, so they have to re-auth. And it's just,
There would
I
need to be
mean,
an voluntary
every
hold that's placed on the individual.
every developer that I've talked to has expressed the same frustrations. And which I get it from both sides, but then when it comes down to the end user, I don't want my end users going through that experience. I mean, I'm still on the fence on Rupert's solution. It has nothing to do with Rupert's solution. It has to do with the marketplace itself. You know, there's only so much he can do. But you know, when I can't even uninstall an app and know for sure that the workflow actions are going to get removed successfully, I mean, there's concerns.
Can I
Got it.
bring up a point too when it comes to rebilling for all of these marketplace apps, like where you have to go into the agency app marketplace or somewhere to, you know, mess around with the rebilling pricing. Every time a new app comes out, we would have to set that price, and it is very hard. It's a full-time job for an agency to have to go in and set the rebilling for all of the brand new apps that just came in like the day before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to enable all apps for all sub accounts, that is a big red flag for me, which is why I do not allow app marketplace to my sub accounts.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's a problem we'll
I
solve.
mean,
very soon,
ultimately,
Chris.
like what Chris just said, that's why I went with Rupert's account. It was cheaper for me to pay Rupert for his solution than it was to pay a person to go in and manage pricing and permissions.
What do you mean by that, Chris? Sir Charles, sorry.
So Chris was talking about, because right now you have to go in and price in each individual app separately. There is nothing
Mhm.
global. You have to go in and there's no real clear of, hey, what has come in new as far as an app within the last week or since the last time I've been in here. So I can go through those and either opt in or leave them opted out. But then I have to go set the pricing for each one of them individually. And so it's either I can pay an employee to go mess with the marketplace for a few hours, go through, run down, see if it's actually white labeled or not, because I can't trust the white label tag that's on it. You know, do they have support docs? Do they actually have, you know, information that shows the end user how to actually use this app? Or is it just something that was slapped into the marketplace? And then they have to go set pricing, and then they have to do a test install to make sure it actually installs and actually works. Or so I can pay an employee to do that, or I could pay Rupert, say, hey, just give me all your apps for one flat monthly price. I mean, it's cheaper for me to pay him to do that than it is to pay an employee to try to micromanage the app marketplace. That's one of the problems. I mean, do I ideally want to pay for all these apps that they may or may not use? No, I'd much rather bill per app. That way, if they're using it, you know, I don't spend anything, keeps my costs down. I don't spend anything if they're not using it. I make money if they are, but at the same time, it costs me more money to pay an employee to go through all that hassle.
Got it. So, Charles, we do have, I understand, support docs and all those, like the quality of it is maybe we can improve our review process better, but at least whether it's white label friendly or not is something we actively and quite stringently review, right? How can we improve this? Like, we don't want you to kind of spend time reviewing apps, right? We want to do that for you.
Here's an idea, Karthik. Here's an idea.
Yeah.
So you know how just on like the SaaS configurator, we can set a rebilling of like 1x to 10x. What if and this is just an idea, it's probably just off the cuff, but what if there was a slider for all apps? Like I want to charge 5x for all extra apps.
Mm.
That would like immediately cut down on having to make a price for each and every single individual app.
Noted. I mean, that's a problem we'll solve, Chris. You can take it for granted that problem will be solved in a month from now.
Awesome.
Uh,
Charles, what do you think on that, man? What do you think?
I think it was brought up at the beginning of the year. So
Probably.
so yeah, pretty sure I brought that one up at the beginning of the year, but no, it's, I mean, to Chris's point, I mean, that would help a lot of things with the white label. You know, it is, you know, you burn me once, shame on you. Burn me twice, shame on me. You're not going to burn me a third time. That's the marketplace. That white label, when it first came out, that white label tag didn't mean a hell of a lot. There were things that were going into, and it was, you know, and I think it was, you probably should have come out with dual profiles before you came out with the white label badge.
mm,
And but now there's this big question mark of what is that process actually like? Because in the beginning, when I go in, you know, from the beginning back in October of last year, I go in and then we see the white label part of it come out, you know, beginning of this year, and I start going in and I see freaking high level everywhere in the descriptions and help docs and in the, you know, if they just Google the name of the app and go to the app's website, there's high level all over it. I can't take that chance.
mm.
And you know, and at the end of the day, everybody's human. I don't expect you guys to catch everything. You know, that's part of my job as an agency owner. You know, hopefully it gets to a point where, okay, I've checked all these apps for the last 3 months and I haven't found a single one. Or I've found one or two and they have quickly taken that label off and, you know, made an announcement that, hey, we missed this, we're sorry, we fixed it. You know, but right now there's just not that confidence. There's been too many, you know, you guys didn't start off with a bicycle. You started off with a unicycle with a bent rim.
Got it. So, I mean, I understand there might have been some sore experience in the past, Charles. So, we're going to solve this at two levels, right? One is the product. Dual profiles is a big step towards solving that problem.
Yeah.
Because essentially what developers want to do is sell to you, right? That's where they end up kind of mentioning go high level. And that's where the white label breach happens. And that's why we have dual profile where they sell to you openly with go high level mentions, but they are very cognizant in what they communicate to the sub account. That's on the product level, right? In addition to that, today the entire review process, we do have a review process for all the white label apps. It's just that the review process is done by our own development team, right? We have an SLA. We take our own time to make sure that not just the app details, but also the website and everything that the link the app links to is also white label friendly. Having said that, of course, it's a challenge because, of course, yeah, we do have a process.
Yeah.
But
get
what
it.
we are doing in addition to that, Charles, is we are creating a separate team to enable this, right? So that's part of our plan in the next few months to come, where we make sure that we are very serious about, not just the white table, but also the app quality. You should not be spending your time reviewing apps and, spending man hours or even paying somebody to do it for you. That's a problem we should own. But yeah, of course, we'll need your feedback in terms of what that process should look like so that we can make it, more clear and organized before it even comes to
Yeah.
you.
And I think, you know, there's just you know, there needs to be a standard set. You know, instead of letting every Tom, Dick, and Harry put an app in the app marketplace, I mean, there needs to be a certain like if it doesn't bring this level of quality, we don't want it in our app marketplace because all it's going to do is drag everything else down. And that's the problem you run into. But if you look at the big players out there, that's the policy that they follow, and that's why their marketplaces work so well. You look at Zoho and HubSpot and, Salesforce and all these others. I mean, the reason their marketplaces work well is because they are ultra critical of who they allow to develop in their marketplace. They won't just let any Tom, Dick, and Harry come in and throw something in the marketplace. Right now, it's kind of the wild, wild west in the high level marketplace. There are guidelines. I'm not saying that
That's going to be
there's
subjective.
not.
Yeah, I think let's not apply the label of being wild, wild west. We do see crazy amount of engagement happening over there. I mean, there might be a few slip ups here and there that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And I think,
I mean,
like-
I
like
love
us-
the idea. I don't think the money to be made on it is the apps itself. I think it's all rebilling on the premium actions. I think that's where the actual money
No,
is
and
at.
I think it's not even
Um,
about the money, Charles.
know.
See, I think
For an
we are
agency.
thinking about ourselves when we say it's about the money. The amount of it has opened up the system to so many folks in Southeast Asia, in Europe,
Mhm.
in countries where we were not able to service folks and they were not able to use high level. And we are not making any money on it, right? Like we are not monetizing the marketplace in any manner. So it's free for all. And the idea over here is that, hey, if you have regions where people are not able to benefit from this platform yet, you can come in and do something that can expand, that can help you expand in those regions. So, I mean, yeah, like again, the things that you mentioned, those will be fixed shortly. Karthik and his team are already on it. But yeah, the only reason I interjected was because rest assured everyone on the call, it's not wild, wild west. We are seeing a lot of good engagement coming from all the marketplace apps that we have.
Yeah. So in addition to that, another thing, Charles, is also the education aspect, right? Things like the white label friendliness, it's kind of unique to the Go high level marketplace. So we'll also kind
Right.
of have the plan to educate developers on what are the best practices, right? What they should do, what they shouldn't do, so that they're aware of what a good app looks like. And we can engage with you strongly because you are one of the voices of what a good app should look like. We'll engage with you to kind of come up with that content so that your voice is heard to the developers when they are creating the app.
Yeah, I mean, I just at the end of the day, I want end users to be able to go into the app marketplace and feel comfortable investing and buying an app integration and understand what that app actually does. And to me, it's, if you listen to any town hall, I'm always about the end user, more so than anything else. I want the best experience for them. Right now, it's just not there. And while I appreciate you guys saying, hey, if it comes down to it, we will get involved and try to figure out what is going on with this app and why it's not doing what it's supposed to do. I greatly appreciate that and respect that very much. There's just some definite usability
For improvement.
issues when it comes to the marketplace, and I know they'll get improved over time. It's just not quite there yet. I wish I could get these workflow actions out of my workflows. But it's a process. But that's why we haven't rolled it out in any other way than what we have with Rupert, because we needed more control over it than what we currently have. But I appreciate all you guys are doing. I really do. I
When you say
hope that the push is. Go ahead.
you said you want more control, right? Like, can you just elaborate on that? So one is the uninstall should remove all the modules. Absolutely, completely agree with that. Anything else you have in mind when you say better control?
Well, I don't want the app marketplace to take over my left-hand sidebar. I mean, there's already a gazillion things on the left-hand navigation bar. And the fact that every time you install an app, it creates another custom menu. And then we have to think, okay, well, what if we have custom menu links set up at the agency level? We've got those that are getting pushed down? Yeah, because they come in after the app marketplace. And so now you've got a mile long you have someone that goes in and installs 5, 6 applications, I mean, it's just not, and how do they manage it? How do they easily uninstall and make sure that it actually gets clean installed? I mean, it's just,
I have a question actually. So with these extra sidebar menu items, right now, does anyone know, even if it's custom code, is it possible to target those and come up with some custom code to inject at the agency level to like group them in a folder? Or is this something that
problem
I
is,
have to develop?
can't,
Yeah.
I mean, the
So-
problem is each of those menu is going to have a separate ID, and you never know which sub account is going to have which apps installed to be able to do it at an agency level.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
So a couple of things. One, we're coming up with the reorder option, right? So with that, you'll have some control in terms of which ones are more relevant and sorted in an order which you want your locations to see. Second, you can customize which sub accounts can see which ones, so that you can hide the ones which are relevant and you don't want them to see, right? That's the second point. To your point, Chris, on organizing it, right? There are discussions and brainstorming that the team is doing in terms of how we can better organize the left nav menu. Today it's a one single list. There are plans to kind of make it a two-level kind of navigation menu, in which case we can make it kind of a the folder structure that you're talking about. But yeah, I think that's something we're thinking and brainstorming. It's not there yet. But today, with the custom menu link customization with the Picard targeting for Q3, a lot of your problems should be solved in terms of making sure you declutter and target the left nav items and the custom menu pages, custom menu links, as well as custom pages to your locations.
Here's an idea. Why don't you take a base layout in Figma and throw it out in the community and say, hey, submit your Figma designs of how you would like this to look.
That might be fun.
You're saying how the left navigation menu should look?
Yeah, yeah.
Just
well,
for the
with
app
installed
marketplace,
app-
like
yeah, with the
do
installed
your
apps.
basic layout, export the Figma file, like just create a new Figma project with just that, highlighting
Hmm.
what you think for the app marketplace, export it and throw it to the community. I mean, you guys do creator contests all the time and throw out money and stuff. Why not do it for design? I mean,
No,
I mean,
this-
hey, a lot of us have Figma and design in Figma every day. You know, throw it out there, see what people think. How would you like to see this app marketplace navigation? Give us your designs.
are you saying the app marketplace in the right side, or I think we were
In the
discussing about the
left-hand
left
in the
navigation.
left-hand menu, like when they see the app marketplace, do you want it nested? Do you want a double nest? Or like how do you want, like when they install apps, how do you want it to look? Just throw out your preliminary like shot in the dark idea. Hey, this is what we're thinking. But if you guys have a better idea, here's our base Figma project. Make a copy of it, design to your heart's away, send it to us and we'll take a look at it. You never know. You may have I mean, you guys do it with video content all the time. Why not with Figma designs?
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
just a
that's
thought.
not a bad idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Karthik, let's get our base UI and
Yeah.
put that in a new project and just make it public. Anyone can clone it, change it, share with us. But I mean, just a few things, like when it will come to the rights of usage, the copyrights, and all of that. I mean, we'll have to figure something out.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we can take care of that.
Yeah, or at least we can start it
Or
as a focus
don't
group.
don't even give them the core. Just say, hey, if you have a design idea for this is what we're looking to design. Submit us a Figma project, and that way you're not giving anything. And the people that know Figma and deal with Figma, they'll be able to create the base layout without you helping them.
Nice.
I have a proposal as well.
I got to go, guys. See you later.
Thank you so much, Charles.
So my proposal is, when you guys announced that you're gonna start working on giving agencies the ability to like sort of like give native high level customization options for the sidebar menu. There was some discussion with some people that I work with, and it was brought up that, you know, all the agency owners that either hire a developer or know enough about code to like inject their own code at the agency level so that they can customize their own high levels. The idea was that leave that alone at the high level development team. Leave the customization stuff alone and let people just do what they have been doing, right? One example is people write their own CSS, inject it, they style their side menus or change them however they want to. A lot of people use the marketer's toolkit to do all the customizations and a whole ton of stuff, and it's already there. And like on one hand, even though I do work on the toolkit team, I've always been like a paid subscriber. It's like Tom Bristol is my affiliate for high level when I got high level. And so, you know, instead of you guys basically recreating the wheel, just like focus on making the high level system more stable, better, and like come out with those awesome new features that you guys do anyways. But don't focus on customizing and giving native customization controls, because we already have that with custom CSS and custom JavaScript. You know what I mean?
So you're saying don't allow developers to inject.
No.
CS.
I'm saying allow
Mhm.
that. But what you guys are like, I think it was last week, it was announced that you guys are going to start working on being able to reorder the menu items.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So, and that's what I'm saying is, you know, there's a lot of people out there that have systems that already customize. A great one is the marketer's toolkit. Is probably the biggest one that I know of. And so like, instead of doing that kind of stuff, like what we really want more than customization options is a more stable platform, right? And if you guys would do what you're already good at versus trying to come up with like very minor customization options compared to the toolkit and some other ones out there, you guys are going to double down on what you're already good at instead of like veering off into, hey, what, you know, we need to give controls to people to move their menu items. Like that's not a big thing. You know, you guys need to focus on core functionality and stability and infrastructure, I think. And so that's a proposal that was brought to me by other folks that are developers. And I just want to throw that out there because I actually agree with that.
Got it. Understood. I get your feedback in terms of where you want us to prioritize, and yeah, feedback taken.
Awesome.
Cool. Any other questions, feedback for the marketplace and integrations team?
Sorry, late jumping on. I don't know if there was any mention of kind of fixing the UX for the marketplace browsing experience. Right now, it's very difficult to get through 36 pages of apps when you can't find what you're looking for.
Yeah. So we're working on improving the search, Javi. Today, the search is limited to just the app name, and we are improving it by miles, leaps, right? The search is going to encompass a lot. Maybe it's a good idea to just bring up the way we're thinking of it.
Even just having like the ability to go from 10 to 100 would be a huge improvement.
I think the way I
Or
see it,
you know, 20, you know, whatever it is. I think we're on the contacts page, we have 100.
So yeah, just a quick sneak peek at what we're working on, right? So it will no longer just be limited to app name, but you can search the keywords that you search will go and search for developer, app category, and these are listed in the decreasing order of the ranking, right? If it matches the app name, those apps would be ranked first. developer, what is the app category, what does the app contain, app tagline, app details, the individual module names, app review content, and so on, right? Second, we'll make the search algorithm more advanced as much as possible, and that's something we're experimenting as we speak. And third, today, the reselling page does not have search capability at all, right? And that's something we're bringing in. We basically bring the same app search capability to the app reselling page so that you can discover and resell the page apps that you feel are good fits for your sub accounts. Yeah, this is something we're working to kind of improve your overall app discoverability things. In addition to that, we also mentioned a couple of things. I hope you can all see my screen. Yeah, right. Can you all see my screen?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, awesome. In addition to that, we're also working on a couple of filters, which we released already. One is the pricing filter. You can filter based on whether it's a free app or a paid app, and also the distribution type. As an agency, your app marketplace has both agency only app and also agency and sub account, which are very different, right? Agency apps are meant for you, while agency and sub account are meant for your sub accounts, which you were not able to distinguish in the app marketplace. You had to click and then figure out what kind of app that is. And so you added the filter there. So these are a couple of steps we have taken to overall improve the discoverability. But having said that, any specific ideas you had, Harvey, in terms of how we can improve the app discoverability? Okay, Harvey, can you hear me?
I mean, I like what you've got so far. Really, so if maybe there was a table view, I don't know if that's possible, or
Got it.
really just going from 10 apps on a page when we've got 360 and that number's rising every other day. Is kind of the biggest probably improvements, but I think enhancing the search kind of solves that also. The issue right now is like the search you can't really find anything via the search, and if you're trying to just scroll, if you have to scroll through, then we're doing it at 10 at a time, and it takes a while to load, and so it just takes.
Got it.
Yeah, I
Makes
think
sense.
the search will be a huge improvement for
Yeah.
sure. And then, maybe the option like on the context page to expand it to, 20, 50, 100 apps at a time. Those seem like they could be the easiest wins.
Being able to or being able to sort by category and or alphabetically.
Yep.
That kind of stuff.
Got it. Great feedback. Thanks for that, Harvey.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, you guys, for hanging out, and really appreciate the feedback. I know that everybody kind of takes all that in, and we will process everything and get improvements rolling. So we really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a great Friday.
You guys as well.
Yeah, have a good weekend.
Dallas. Woo!
Yeah. We'll see you guys. Take care.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
You too.